This week we're going to highlight a record pace of U.S. corn export sales. However, we're also going to mention that there is some ASF showing up again in China. Then we're going to move on and focus on some planting delays in Brazil due to some wet conditions. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved into March now, and that means there's a lot going on worldwide and in the U.S. Let's get right to it. We're going to start out looking at the export sales for the U.S. corn. Now we're going to highlight here, this is the unshipped book of U.S. corn export sales as of late February. And notice that's at a record level. It is coming down slightly in that red line. What we want to highlight is that corn to China is up 431 million bushels compared to a year ago. We're going to highlight the importance of that in just a moment. Let's move on now and look at the sales by destination of corn through late February. Now we're looking at 2.323 billion bushels here sold for 2021. That's a record for this amount. Now we look at that's 89.3% as we've shown here of the total for the year for the USDA. So we're not even at the midpoint of the year, yet 89% of those projected sales have been made. So what that does is place tremendous emphasis on the double crop or the second season of corn that's going to be grown in Brazil. Here's a yellow flag to point out though. What we're seeing in China is a few more cases of ASF resurface. You'll recall 3 years ago, African swine fever surfaced in China, caused massive liquidation of the hog herd. This is very important because we've sold 696 million bushels of corn to China, but only shipped about 40% of that so far. So the key is, if there were to be a bad situation develop in China with the ASF, some of those unshipped sales could be at risk. That's not what we're saying today, but it's something to be aware of in terms of possibility of market volatility. Let's move on now and focus on South American weather, specifically looking at Brazil. We looked at this slide before, but this is where the second season corn is grown in Brazil among those 4 key states. Now we're looking at planting progress here. We're looking at 55% planted in Mato Grosso. Mato Grosso is the #1 second season corn. Notice the average is 80% and 92% was planted last year. Why is that important? When we're looking at the precipitation totals here by province, we're looking at Mato Grosso here already declining in precip here in March and declining rapidly as we look forward here to May and June. So the key is a lot of this corn is going to be planted later than usual in Mato Grosso, which makes it vulnerable to becoming dry during pollination there in May and June. Something we'll keep you updated on moving on to this spring. Now we want to zero in and focus on that short-term forecast for Brazil. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. And we're looking at the next 5 to 7 days. You'll notice that there could be some serious challenges completing that corn. Now here's the fly in the ointment, if you will. The record corn price in Brazil may encourage the Brazilian producer to plant later than would normally be advised. So we don't want to say that those acres are written off yet. Looking at the planting progress, Mato Grosso is 55% compared to 80% on average, and Paraná only at 11%. That's a 14-year low. Wrapping up the weather, looking at the next 10 to 14 days, you can see it's normal to wet across those key growing areas, Mato Grosso, Goiás, some of those areas. So it could be a challenge planting this remainder of this safrinha crop. Let's wrap up briefly today looking at trends in December corn futures. Now again, we moved out of the crop insurance period. That price was established in February, of course, $4.58 a bushel. We're actually above that price now, and at the highest price neck and neck with where the market was back in 2014. So nearly an 8-year high in December corn futures. We strongly encourage you to continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants. We'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.